Hey everybody, what's up? So here's my top 20 favorite glam metal albums of all time. Sleaze or hair, whatever you want to call it. Glam metal, of course. A lot of the guys my age will probably agree with me, but this is our entry music into metal. So, or the heavier, the gateway to getting into the extreme underground side. And I still love these albums to this day. They still hold a special place. Grew up listening to these son of a bitches, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. A lot of these are the originals. There's a couple of reissues I had to replace, so it is what it is. I am going to show honorable mentions. I got a stack right here, which I just had a hell of a time picking which album, because there's a couple of bands here that had several killer albums. So I chose one and decided to use the other one as an honorable mention. So here we go. This is the very first glam metal album I ever bought. This actual cassette I bought in 1986. It's Poison. Look at what the cat dragged in. And fucking phenomenal. There's another Poison album I'm going to show later that's a little bit more my favorite, but this is what this old fucking thing looked like. Nothing on that side. Number one, honorable mention. Number two is my old Bon Jovi tape, which probably rubbed that tape many a times. I've had this since whenever it came out. I don't even remember what year it came out, but absolutely love this album. It has Wanted Dead or Alive on it. Oh, by the way, my favorite track on this is the title track, I Want Action and Talk Dirty to Me. And this album, of course, it's Wanted Dead or Alive. Raise Your Hand, which was on the movie Spaceballs. But Living on a Prayer. It's a killer one. So, yeah, this is the old motherfucker. On Mercury. Right here's the picture of the band. Put this one down. Another honorable mention will be, man, I'm not even going to show this one. Yeah, I'll show it. Skid Row, self-titled. The other honorable mention is Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich by Warrant. I always loved that album cover. Originally I had this on cassette, but I had to buy this CD because the cassette is destroyed. So I think it's a reissue. This is a killer album. This one has Down Boys, Pennies. Man, I love all these songs. In the Sticks, that's a good shit right here. Probably saying if you say so. Another honorable mention is this fucking killer White Snake album, Slip of the Tongue, which has, I believe, Steve Vai playing lead guitars on it. Favorite songs on this one would be Judgment Day, and I love the very last track, Sailing Ships. It's my original CD from back then. Another honorable mention would be Rat, Out of the Cellar. There's another Rat album I like a little bit more than this one. So this is my old CD from back in the day. Another honorable mention, of course, is Def Leppard's Pyromania. I'll just show this one with it too. And Hysteria, which this one, Too Late for Love, was my favorite track on this one. And this one is Gods of War. I always loved that fucking song. The very first metal t-shirt I ever owned was this. It was on the back, and I would wear it backwards so I could see the fucking art when I was in, I think it was eighth grade or 7th grade maybe. So let's go with this. Oh, another honorable mention. Last honorable mention would be Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love. Fucking awesome album. Actually, these two albums always, for some reason, kind of sound similar to me. I think maybe it's their production or something like that. So anyway, let's get to the top 20. So coming in at number 20 is Steelheart's self-titled album, which this thing, the drums are thunderous. So many good ones. This one has She's Gone, which is my favorite power metal ballad of all time, would be that one. Yes, I'm a sucker for good ballads, and that ballad right there is a fucking badass son of a bitch. But this is the cassette I bought, and I want to say 1990. I think this album was released. I could be wrong. Sometime around there. So, Steelheart's self-titled, freaking rules. 19 would be Slaughter, Stick It To You. This is the actual cassette I bought back then. And yeah, this one has Talk to the Angels and Up All Night, Mad About You. Really cool stuff. Of course, it's got Mark Slaughter in it from Vinnie Vincent Invasion. But yeah, I love these old cassettes, looking at them. This one, a lot of these managed to survive because I had them in another box in a different location of the house, so I still have a lot of these badass albums. So that one's number 19. Here's number 18, which is, oh, have it upside down, White Snake, self-titled, which has In the Still of the Night. That song by itself is one of the amazing fucking albums. This one's on Giffen, the actual old cassette I bought back in fucking 80s sometime. Spent a lot of nights listening to this son of a bitch over and over again. It's one of those albums that it's just a classic. It's 18. I guess coming in at, shoot, didn't think this out. So I'm not going to count down anymore until I get to the last, because I'll fuck this count up. Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy, which You're in Love was my favorite track on this fucking album. It is hooky. Just love the lyrics, the words, the guitar tone in this son of a bitch. What an amazing album. Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. My favorite Def Leppard album, of course, is this one, which is High and Dry. This one has Let It Go, Another Hit and Run, Bringing on the Heartbreak, Switch 625, which is a killer fucking instrumental, and Mirror Mirror. This also has the title track of the first album on it, On Through the Night, and this album fucking rules. This is the old Mercury. I've been listening to this son of a bitch for a long fucking time. I'd say at least 40 years, at least. Let's get to this one. Next one up would be Striper, To Hell with the Devil. So I originally had this on cassette back in the day and listened to it all the time. For a long time, I didn't even know these guys were Christian. I don't know why. I should. The lyrics are obvious. But To Hell with the Devil is just one of those anthems that fucking rule. More Than a Man, I love that guitar riff. These guys could freaking play some guitar solos, and all kinds of stuff. And I remember trying to tune my guitar to this. They tune pretty low. I remember trying to tell one of my friends that this is heavier than fucking Metallica, and he didn't believe me until he tried tuning it, and he said, "What the fuck?" And I said, it just the way they did things back then. So they probably did it because of Michael's vocals are so high that they could make the music sound heavier. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's go on to the next one. This one right here, Dokken. My favorite Dokken album. I like Tooth and Nail and Under Lock and Key, I think is the other one. I don't have those albums. This is the only Dokken album I have, but I bought it because it has The Kiss of Death on it, which I love that song. It also has Dream Warriors Off the Nightmare on Elm Street, Night by Night, Mr. Scary, Man, this album fucking rules. This is some killer shit. And this is the original CD I bought in '86. No, wait. Was it '87? I don't remember when I bought the CD. Probably in the '90s. I think I had this on cassette first, and then I bought this CD. Killer one, Doc, and Back for the Attack. Another one. LA Guns, they're self-titled. This is my favorite LA Guns album. There's something about it, it's just like bar rock on Vertical Records. It's like bar rock, and it has a certain attitude about it that I fucking love. No Mercy, I love that song. It just starts off with that. Sex Action, Electric Gypsy's another one. Bitches Back. Yeah, this is a killer fucking album. I think Tony at Life Eternal has showed this not too long ago as well. I don't remember when I bought this CD. I think I had it on cassette first, and then I got a lot of these on CD, and this is one hell of an album. Let's get to this. Man, got some vinyls to show too. Another one, Quiet Riot. And this one, I remember hearing on, I think it was Footloose. It was the movie Footloose. He gets pulled over by a cop because he's playing a song, Mental Health, loud. And just love the song. This one's a reissue. I don't have my original cassette, but this also has Battle Axe, which is a badass guitar solo. Love that guitar solo in it. Next one up. White Lion's Pride. The only White Lion album I do like is this one. I love the guitar tone in it. My favorite track on this is Lady of the Valley. I love it's a straight up traditional heavy metal song in the beginning, and then it goes into a nice ballady part with 12-string guitar. Of course, this has Waiting and When the Children Cry, Hungry, Lonely Nights. This is a killer fucking album. Some guitar solos on this son of a bitch is badass. And I think I originally had this one on cassette too, and got this CD a little bit later. And another fucking badass one. And that's Winger. And they're self-titled. And I remember listening to this one a lot when I was when it first came out, because I love the song 17. And I want to say about that time I knew a girl that wanted to be my girlfriend, and she was 17 when I think I was like 15, maybe 16 when this came out. I don't remember when, but I always thought that was funny. I think that's the original band name is right here, and then they put the Winger at the top. For the longest time, I thought that was the name of the album, but then I found out watching some other's channel, they talked about it and said that was the actual original name of the band. I think it was Sahara. Yeah, Sahara was the original name. So that's pretty cool nugget of information. We're getting into the top 5 or close to it. So I'm gonna knock these two out. I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, there's another one right there. Okay, so just a couple vinyls. Wasp, The Last Command. It is my favorite Wasp album. It's the first one I listened to. I had this on cassette back in the day by like Wild Child, Ball Crusher, Fistful of Diamonds, Jack Action, Widowmaker, just every fucking song basically. Cries in the Night, The Last Command. This album fucking rules. Another one, of course, is the OG Press version of Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister. I've showed this album before, and my favorite song on this is Burnin' Hell. I like Horateria, the beginning, which has Captain Howdy and Street Justice. I love those fucking tracks. Of course, it has the ballad, The Price. That fucking kills. And then I'd say, damn, I'd say this one. Then I'll be in the top 5. This is the other Poison album I freaking love. And this reminds me of an ice storm back in 1990, I think, is when this album came out, I want to say. And meeting some chicks on Main Street, was cruising, and they jumped in the car and was listening to this. And then another album, pretty much all night long, driving around these backwoods. For some reason, we thought we were going to be daredevils, speeding along, doing fishtails in the ice. But this one, I love this track, or this album. Strange Days of Uncle Jack, I love that. It's an intro, and it just sounds so fucking badass. It goes into Valley of Lost Souls. And that's my favorite fast track, and my ballad favorite would be Life Goes On, which has my favorite guitar solo. Probably my top 5, to be honest with you, is on this album. Guitar solos. CC DeVille's guitar solo just fucking rips. And so now we're in the top 5. So it's about time. So at number 5 would be the other album we listened to. I think I bought these two on cassette on the same day, I want to say. So Warrant's Cherry Pie. I fucking love this album. This one has Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is a really dark freaking track. I love it, and it's heavy as fuck. Mr. Rainmaker, that song will get stuck in your head for days on end. When I Saw Red, freaking beautiful ballad about cheating people. And Blind Faith is another good ballad on this. But this one has Ode to Tipper Gore during that time because of this. So anyway, this is a fantastic album, and it's number 5. I would say, well, number 5. So coming in at number 4 would be The Cult, Sonic Temple, which I listened to this son of a bitch every day when it first came out. It's still one of my favorites. It's probably my go-to glam metal album, other than these right here. Of course, this one has Fire Woman. I fucking love that song. I love the Jim Morrison feel the vocalist has. I like E.D. Chow Baby. I love that fucking ballad. New York City, Soul Asylum, Medicine Train. This one is a fucking beast. So coming in at number 3, it would be probably the third album I've ever owned in my life. Was a cassette copy of Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. This album holds a lot of fucking special nights listening to this son of a bitch. I remember the first 5 albums I had in my collection would have been that Poison tape, Iron Maiden Killers, this album, Holy Diver, and what was the other one? Yeah, I think that was it. So, and I had that for years, and I just kind of rotated through those albums. Oh yeah, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry was the other one. So, but yeah, this album right here, back to it. I love Looks That Kill. My favorite track on this is Too Young to Fall in Love, which any song that had the name Young in it, like Die Young by Black Sabbath or anything like that, that was my song, just because of my last name. If that kind of makes any sense at all. 10 Seconds to Love, I love that song. I love the instrumental God Bless the Children of the Beast. I thought that was the most evilest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, this one is number 3. And man, coming in at number 2 is this one right here, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. I know some people don't classify this as glam metal, always did, just because they wore makeup and they had big hair. So, and it's sleazy. So it fits all the criteria of glam metal. I got this album right here for Christmas. I want to say 1988 is when I got this. I got this for Christmas on vinyl. And I did have the cassette, and back then I listened to the cassette way more than I did this wax because I didn't have a turntable at first. But I love this album. This album used to be on my wall because I used it as a poster. On Giffen Records, this album right here, My Michelle's my favorite track on it. Mr. Brownstone. What was another good? Out to Get Me. I remember this is actually the first album I ever owned that had cuss words in it. This one. Fucking killer album. Rocket Queen is another one. Man, there's so many good ones. Album fucking rules. So that's number 2 on my list. So my number 1 favorite album of all, a glam metal album of all time, is an album that it's one. I think it's the first. I want to say it was the first hard rock or metal album to reach number 1 on the Billboard or top 100. And then I think not long after that, Metallica knocked it out and then stayed up there with the Black Album. But it's this one. This is my number 1. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. This album to me is an absolute masterpiece. It's heavy as fuck. And the songs are so damn catchy. Monkey Business. That's the first track I heard on that, and I had to get this album. Man, Slave to the Grind is heavy as fuck. Riot Act I love very much. Mud Kicker Kick, man, it stuck to my head. This version has Get the Fuck Out on it. Later on, I think they had to take that off due to Tipper Gore. They put Bigger's Day, but this is the version with Get the Fuck Out. I need to get this on wax. I absolutely adore this album. This is the only copy I have of it. Fucking killer album right here. So hopefully I didn't bore the fuck out of you at all, but that is my favorite glam metal albums of all time. I have several more here, and I may show, like, maybe do a collection, not a ranking, which I fucked that ranking all up because I don't know how to count backwards sometimes. But you all have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Have a good day or a good evening. If you want more videos like this, it's going to be a while. I do have a collection update coming up, predominantly CDs and some good ones. I did find some badass shit the other day. But without further ado of me doing this, you all have a good one.